Hey everybody, Patrick here with I Help with Macs. When someone watches me use my Mac, I'll hear them ask very often, "How did you do that?" I'm not Superman. I'm not attractive. I'm not smarter than most people. I've just happened to use a Mac and other Apple products and technology in general long enough so that I just know a couple of extra tips and tricks. Now, a lot of these tips and tricks that I show you on my webpage, or I should say website with various pages, a lot of you already know about. But it's so funny, or not funny, ha-ha funny, it's so interesting to watch someone who's been using a Mac for years do something differently than me that simply takes longer. And I almost always say, really kindly and nicely, I know a faster way to do that. Can I show you? And a lot of times those tips and tricks and quick fixes deal with keyboard shortcuts. Okay? I know a lot of keyboard shortcuts. And a lot of times when I used to teach at the Apple stores, or a lot of times when I'm showing someone something on my computer and I use a keyboard shortcut, I'll very often get asked, "How did you do that?" So, well, the obvious answer would be, well, I use this keyboard shortcut here. Let me just open up the list of keyboard shortcuts that Apple provides for you on your Mac so you can learn how to do that too. Well, that has never been the case. Apple, for the longest time, has never included just a list of keyboard shortcuts for you to be able to learn right on your Mac when you buy it. Up until just a couple of years ago. For the longest time, we had to do what everybody else does. We had to open up our web browser and Google search keyboard whatever, and find some sort of list that some nerd had been compiling for years and years and years so that you could learn how to use keyboard shortcuts. Well, now we're going to do something a little bit different. Do me a favor. Just click on your desktop. Now, the reason I'm telling you to click on your desktop is because it will make sure that we're using the Finder. The Finder application is now in the foreground. How do I know that? Because I see its name in the menu bar. What application are you using, Patrick? Look at my menu bar up in the upper left-hand corner, and you will see Finder. Okay, I'm using the Finder. Now, the reason why we're going to use the Finder for now is because the Finder is basically the boss of the Mac. And when I am using an application on a Mac, much like a PC, you will almost always see a help menu. Since the Finder is the boss of the Mac, its help menu is pretty vast. I click on the help menu, and I click on Mac Help. Not iPhoto help or iTunes help, but general, just Mac help. I click on Mac help, and it opens up this help interface here. Learn about the basics of your Mac. Learn about your computer's devices. Get to work. Have fun. I can click on this stuff, and before we even get into these keyboard shortcuts, look around. Look around these help menus. It's really going to, for absolutely free, besides the cost of your Mac, for absolutely free, going to teach you a lot of cool tricks, a lot of cool tips as you're moving through the Mac and having a good time. Now, I'm not just going to click on Mac Help. I'm actually going to click the help menu and type in keyboard. And notice, let me spell it right, keyboard. And as I start to type in K-E-Y, it starts to give me, kind of guesses about what I might be typing. I'm going to type in keyboard shortcuts. And what happens? Keyboard and other shortcuts shows up. Click! And it just doesn't take me to a list. It actually gives me, once again, selections that I can go through to kind of narrow things down. Like files and folders shortcuts. Shortcuts for opening and closing folders. Shortcuts for working with items in the Finder. Let's just click one of these. And as you can see, it gives me an item or an action that can be done, like make an alias of a file instead of moving it, as you can see right here. And then it says Command, and shows you the symbol for Command, drag the file's icon to the new location. And notice that the Help section here works kind of like a web browser. I can go back and back again. And let's go to Shortcuts for System Basics. Click. Shortcuts for freezes. Oh no, what if something freezes up on my computer? What do? Click, and then stop a process. Open the Force Quit Applications window. Open a dialog that lets you sleep, restart, or shut down. So as you can see, when we're moving through this help section, either by clicking in the help menu and selecting, let me do that again, and selecting Mac Help, or by clicking in the help menu and searching for something, we really can find a lot of cool tips and tricks as well as keyboard shortcuts for our Mac. Now, I want to just talk about a couple that you're probably going to, from your PC to Mac, wonder, hey, I'm using my PC and I'm copying and pasting all the time. Now I'm on my Mac, how do I copy and paste? Well, one key on your keyboard that you're going to need to get used to is the Command key. Now, the Command key is found on both sides of your spacebar. Command key on the left side of the spacebar, Command key on the right side of the spacebar. There's no difference. They do the exact same thing. And a lot of your shortcuts that you've used on your PC, like Control-C, Control-V, for copying and pasting, are exactly the same on your Mac, except instead of using Control-C and Control-V, you're using Command-C or Command-V. So poke around and try to learn how that Command key works. See what it can do for you. But I want to show you one thing in particular very quickly that you're going to need to know while using a Mac. Let me open up the Finder real quick here. Finder. Here's my Finder window. I'm going to go to my Documents folder. And as you can see here, I've got my, let's see here, Taxes folder. Okay, right. Now, this is an important folder for me. And what if I accidentally moved it? Click, dragged it onto the desktop, and it moves. Oh no, I'm a little terrified, right? I've moved something and I think to myself, now I have to put it back. How do I do that? I could click and drag and put it back, but when you make a mistake on your Mac, you can almost always just undo it right then and there. What's the shortcut for that? Command what? Command what? Z. Do you hear that noise? I drag and I drop, or I rename, or I do something that I didn't mean to do. Command Z, almost always, it is immediately undone. So as we're getting into these keyboard shortcuts and using a lot of them through these videos, I just wanted you to see that, understand what was happening, and feel free to shoot me an email with any questions further about keyboard shortcuts. You can email me at ihelpwithmax@gmail.com, or keep checking back to ihelpwithmax.wordpress.com to find out all kinds of fun stuff you can do with your Mac. All right, have a wonderful night, and I hope this helped.